What is going on, Crimson City? My name is Crimson CBAD, and today I'm coming to you as the coach of the Detroit Steel Wings coming up in Season 2 of the Pokemon 4 Glory League. I apologize for the informalness of this video. I apologize for how, kind of really not well put together it is, I feel like. I wasn't going to make this video, and a lot of people have been asking for it, so it's actually going up the day before our first team builder, which I'm going to need to re-record, because I said I wasn't going to do a team builder for that. So it's kind of like post-capping. I've recorded 2 videos before this and the battle going up before this. So I want to talk about this a little bit because there were some things that go on in the team builder and in the battle that I will address here on out. So I won't spoil anything for the match, though, for you guys. But we're here. We're in Season 2 of Pokemon 4 Glory League. It's going to be our league coming up here for the summer. If you guys don't know, the Detroit Steel Wings did participate in the GBA Season 7. Seasons 4, 5, and 7 of the GBA so far. Pokemon 4 Glory is our next league that we are going to take on. So if you guys are excited for this video, be sure to leave a like on it as well as subscribe so you don't miss out on more league format Pokemon content. Without further ado, we're going to kind of talk about my draft plans a little bit. Like I said, this is really informal because I didn't even make one for the GBA, but I've had a lot of people ask for this one because it's kind of an interesting team. So my thought process into going into this league was that I'm going to draft mons that I've never used in league format before, ever. There's a bit of comfortability with drafting mons in the GBA this season, mons that I was kind of familiar with, mons that I wasn't too familiar with. This one, I was like, you know what, let's expand our reach. Let's use mons that I have never ever used in draft format before. So you guys see the image floating above my head. Top to bottom, left to right, that is the order in which we drafted our team. So first mon up here, I wanted a, you always draft power first. You always draft some heat first. And so with the heat comes the coolness. We got my boy Red Romano, the Mamoswine here. He was our first overall draft pick. Look at those stats. 110 HP, 130 attack, speed tier of 80. So speed tier is pretty okay. Attack is just absolutely devastating. Pretty bulky with that HP. He does have 3 abilities, an Oblivious, Snow Cloak, and Thick Fat. I don't think I'll ever use Snow Cloak. Oblivious could be good for setting up rocks. Oblivious, Mamoswine was really good in the beginning and pre-bank meta for Sun and Moon. Thick Fat, Fire and Ice type moves are halved when taking the attack stats, so my weakness to Fire goes away, so it's a neutral hit. And then Ice is resisted or Ice is a neutral hit if I'm remembering my types. I'm not sure. But Thick Fat also helps too. Oblivious will be good in instance in case I want to set up rocks. We can talk about moves that it has. Obviously, with the attack stat of 130, special attack is 70. I don't think I'll ever use a special attack Mamoswine. But it does have access to Freeze Dry, with something to keep in mind. 10% chance to freeze. Super effective on water type Pokemon. So, gets access to Earthquake. Best ground move in the game. 130, Earthquake Stab. Freeze Dry gets access to Priority and Ice Shard, Icicle Crash, 85 base power, 30% chance to flinch. Gets access to Knock Off, gets access to things like Stone Edge, gets access to things like Superpower. Sorry about that. So as I was saying, today is just the recording day that all my dogs decide to bark all at once. So, Earthquake gets Icicle Crash, Knock Off, Superpower, Rock Slide, Stone Edge. Gets access to Stealth Rock so we can set up hazards. It can be a taunt user if need be. Rock Tomb for speed control. Nothing too crazy. Very powerful stab ice, very powerful stab ground. Really nice. Never used Mamoswine in league format. Definitely want to try it out. A lot of people have had a lot of success with it. Very powerful Pokemon. Coming back around the wheel. I still wanted to draft more power. That's what the whole thing is in draft format. So another. I feel like Mamoswine is either like a hazard setter or just runs shop on people. Doesn't really get too much. It doesn't get setup moves too much, if at all. I thought I got Swords Dance and Rock Polish, but I guess it doesn't. So either way, setup sweeping diversity. Next up is Khaleesi or Salamence. Salamence, very powerful Pokemon. 4 times weakness to Ice, obviously, but does get 2 really awesome abilities in Intimidate and Moxie. Intimidate lowering the attack stage by 1. Moxie, if I pick up the KO, increases my attack by 1 stage. Tons of coverage here. And at the end of the draft, actually, we got to select 2 offensive Z Captains Pokemon that can use Z Crystals, and then 1 Pokemon that can use any Z Crystal you want, supportive or offensive. And Salamence is indeed our Super Saiyan Z Pokemon, so to speak. It can use any sort of Z move that we want it to, whether it be a supportive move or not. I mean, look at the coverage here. We've got Aqua Tail, we've got Brick Break, we've got Draco Meteor, Dragon Claw, Dragon Dance, Dragon Pulse, Dragon Tail, gets access to Earthquake, Fire Blast, Fire Fang, Flamethrower, Heat Wave, Hydro Pump, Hyper Voice, Outrage, Rock Slide, Stone Edge, Tailwind, Toxic, Wish, Zen Headbutt. Gets a ton of access moves. Fly, EMZ, Fly. is crazy. Gets access to things like Iron Tail, gets access to like things like Ominous Wind. It can set up rain. It can do Thunder Fang. It can do so much. It can be ran as a support set. It can be ran offensive. It can be run defensive. It's such a good Pokemon. I thought it was too good to pass up. It does get access to Defog, so that is one form of hazard removal that we do have on the team. We got a lot of hazard removal on the team this time around. So next thing that I wanted to pick up, a lot of fast electric types were going, and there were probably better choices available on the board at the time. But again, I wanted to use Pokemon I've never used before. So third up, we do have Soundgarden here, the Healerless. Rest in peace, my main Chris Cornell. Awesome abilities, Dry Skin, Sand Veil, and Solar Power. So if anybody wants to run Sand, we get Sand Veil. If anybody wants to run Sun, we have Solar Power. And you guys can already kind of tell by the team and everything up there that if we run Rain, we get the Dry Skin, Stab Electric and Normal, 62 HP, Special Attack and Speed topping off at 109. So really fast Pokemon, really hard-hitting. Dark Pulse gets access to things like Dragon Pulse, gets access to things like Focus Blast. Glare, it gets Grass Knot, it gets Stab, Hyper Voice, it gets access to Low Kick, Rock Slide, Surf, Thunderbolt, Thunder Wave, Toxic, U-Turn, Volt Switch, Charge Beam if we need to. Let me see if there's any other cool things down here. Iron Tail, Low Sweep. Rain Dance, it can set up the rain for itself, so we've got 2 rain setters right now. Really cool Pokemon. I didn't talk too much about Salamence's stats. 135 attack, 110 special attack, 100 speed. Really nice speeds here. Really good stats. Really good stats. Soundgarden here, not too much on the offensive side, but very good, especially offensive. Heliolisk is one of our offensive Z-move users. That speeds here. Having the coverage that it does, I figured that'd be really nice. Really nice coverage, being able to catch one of the other coaches off guard, so not too much to say here. Fast momentum in either Volt Switch or U-Turn. Fast electric types are really good in the format. Nothing else to say. On the way back, I wanted some more hazard removal. I wanted a electric immunity as well, other than Ray Romano, and I wanted more reliable. I didn't want Mamoswine to have to set the rocks every single time. So we got Tantor, the Donphan here. Tantor has the sturdy ability, Sand Veil if we feel like it, but more than likely not sturdy. 90 HP, 120 and 120 in attack and defense. Special defense isn't too much to talk about. Speed isn't too much either. It's more of a bulky mon. Stab Earthquake is really cool. Gets access to things like Fire Fang, Gyro Ball, Head Smash, Heavy Slam. I didn't know it got Hyper Voice actually. Gets priority and Ice Shard. Access to Knockoff, Play Rough, Poison Jab. Gets access to Rock Slide and Seed Bomb. Can set rocks, obviously. Stone Edge. Another thing it's hazard removals now. We've got 2 forms of hazard removal on the team. A Defogger in Salamence and a Spinner in Donphan. Superpower, Toxic, things like that. Really good defensive mon. Can be run very offensively as well. Iron Tail, Rock Tomb for speed control, things like that. Thunder Fang. So very bulky Pokemon, very solid, reliable hazard removal in the form of a Spinner. Obviously they're the Ghost type. We can also hit it with a knockoff, things like that. It can be ran, like I said, offensively. It can run kind of defensively. You can even toss an AV on there, give a little bit of special defense to pair with that 90 base HP as well. Kind of boosting up that 60 base SPDF. Nothing too much to say about Donphan here. Next wheel around, I was kind of thinking Mega Pokemon. What do we want to go for? At the time of the draft, nothing too crazy was released. But Swampert was released. And I was like, you know what wouldn't be bad? I was like, let's go for Mega Swampert, because at the time of the draft and the way it was looking out, 2 rain setters were still available. So I was like, you know what, let's go Mega Swampert. Mega Swampert, 100 base HP, 150 attack, 110 defense, 110 special defense, Swift Swim ability. So if we were to run a Jolly Swampert in the rain, we are looking at, I know this is timid, someone's gonna call me out, 268 speed. You have to have a lot of speed. You have to have a lot of speed in order to do that. And if we were to run an Adamant Swampert, 222 attack, absolutely disgusting. Hits harder than Mamoswine does, believe it or not. Really good Pokemon. Special attack 95. It can be run physically offensive, it can be run specially offensive, it can be run super bulky. I mean, like I said, 100 HP, 110 defense, 110 special defense. I mean, come on, that's stupid. Just the thick. It's so thick. I got my shirt on. Extra thick. It's so stupid thick. It can also set rocks. So now we've got 3 rock setters on the team in the form of Mamoswine, Donphan, or a Swampert. These are things people have to plan for. Gets access, Earthquake, gets Hammer Arm, Hydro Pump, Ice Beam, Ice Punch, Low Kick, Outrage, Power Up Punch, Scald. This thing gets Sludge Wave, Stealth Rock, like I said, Stone Edge, Superpower, Surf, Waterfall, just shouting out moves that could potentially come into play here. Icy Wind, maybe, Hydro Cannon, Mirror Coat, Mud Bomb. These are all just, it can set its own rain. Rock Tomb for speed control. things like that. It does get work up as well. Ooh, that might be an interesting thing to go for. But, just my thoughts on it. Very bulky offensive, can be run either physically offensive or specially offensive. People might prepare for a very physically offensive Mega Swampert. We're doing especially, vice versa. People are like, oh, he's ran especially. Well, guess what? I'm running Power Up Punch Earthquake this week. So, just things to keep in mind. Next up on the wheel, the new Pokemon that got a buff this season, in my opinion. A buff this season. I've been playing Overwatch, haven't I? A buff this gen. Pelipper, Drizzle ability. On switch in, it summons in Rain Dance. We've got Indra here. And Marth, the Mega Swampert, reminded me of Marth from Fire Emblem because it's blue and hits things really hard. Indra's a god of rain in some religion, if I recall. 60 HP, defense of 100, special attack 95, 70 special defense, 65 speeds here. Nothing too crazy here about the stats. Does automatically set the rain. With the rain, it does automatically give me Hurricane spam, which is incredible. Hydro Pump gets boosted, obviously. Ice Beam, U-Turn, Force Switch Initiative, gets access to Defog as well, so now we have 3 forms of hazard removal on the team, in Salamence, in Donphan, and in Pelipper. So, looking really good right now. Gets access to... I didn't know Pelipper got Gunk Shot. That's absolutely wild. Tailwind support, Seed Bomb too. Wow, oh my goodness. The things you look at when you look at your team and do a draft analysis, you see all sorts of things. Surf, things like that. Does it get Surf? Did I say Surf? Yeah, gets Surf, gets Soak, removes the typing advantage that the opponent might have. So, I really like this Pokemon. A really good pairing with this. I'm able to get the rain up and potentially U-turn into Mega Swampert. And now with the new speed changes in Gen 7, I don't need to protect in order to get that speed boost. As soon as I Mega Evolve, my Swift Swim kicks in if I'm in the rain, which is really awesome. So I'll be able to just bring Mega Swampert in and, you know, pick a sack at that point. So, that goes over the first kind of half of our team. We'll go. All right, let's go over the second half of our team here. We've got Tony Stark the Scizor. Scizor is such a stupid good Pokemon. Nobody runs Swarm, they run Technician. Boosts all of the moves of 60 power or less at 1.5 power. So if it's got 60 power, guess what? All of a sudden it's base 90. Scizor is absolutely stupid good, and with the rain that we drafted, with Pelipper, with surrounding things like Healerlisk, all the rain setters that we've gotten here, Scizor's only weakness is a 4x weakness to fire, and with the rain up, guess what? Fire moves don't do that much. So Scizor looked really nice along with this team. Acrobatics and Aerial Ace both get boosted by things like Technician, gets access to Bug Bite's not on here. Bullet Punch, Priority and Bullet Punch, Stab Bullet Punch, Technician boosted Bullet Punch. It does crazy amounts. Gets access to things like Knockoff, only Knockoff is a little bit less. Gets access to things like Pursuit, that is Technician boosted, and able to trap Mons, which is really, really nice. U-Turn Initiative in that also does get access to Defog. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 forms of hazard removal on the team right now, so I don't really see anybody trying to stack hazards in our way. Gets access to things like Counter, Bug Bite, Stab, Technician boosted. Bug Bite is awesome. Gets access to Swords Dance, which is incredible. Gets Recovery and Roost, which I didn't talk about. Salamence also gets access to Roost. Pelipper gets access to Roost. So we've got reliable recovery in our defoggers, aside from in our hazard removal, aside from Donphan. Scizor also gets Roost and has recovery, so we do have recovery in all of our hazard removal aside from Donphan, which is very nice. Scizor can also set the rain. A lot of our Pokemon can set the rain, so going into this, it wasn't going to be a rain team, but looking at our Pokemon, a lot of them have the ability to set rain for Mega Swampert or for Rain Dish, Healerlisk, or for, Dry Skin Healerlisk, or for helping out Scizor, nerfing its only weakness. Priority and Vacuum Wave 2, special fighting type move, gets boosted by Technician, so I don't know if I'll ever use that, but just some thoughts on that. Gets Superpower, things like that. Bullet Punch, I already talked about that. Nothing too crazy. Agility if we feel like setting up, but we do have the Priority and Bullet Punch, so nothing too crazy here. 130 base attack, 100 defense, 80 special defense. So with the proper HP SPDF, if we can run Rain, or if Rain looks good for a certain week, Scizor looks pretty good. Scizor looks pretty good. I mean, nothing too crazy to say here. Let's toss the EVs in here. 150 attack right out of the gate. You see there's a theme here. I mean, Mamoswine has 130 attack. Salamence has 135 attack. Donphan has 120. Mega Swampert has 150. Scizor has 130 attack. We have a lot of hard-hitting Mons that can also be run very defensively if need be. Next up here, a Mon that isn't too physically offensive and can't be run defensively, but is a monster. We got Alakazam. Don't know how we got Alakazam. Got a lot of threats on our team. Don't know how we got Alakazam. Has the Magic Guard ability, which is pretty much what everybody runs. Synchronize if we want to. Inner focus cannot be made to flinch. Pretty frail, though. 55 HP, 50 attack, 45 defense. So nothing, I mean, seriously, you punch an Alakazam and it's down. But it makes up for it, 120 speed, 135 special attack, ton of coverage moves. Ton of coverage moves. Dazzling Gleam, disable. Energy Ball, Focus Blast, Grass Knot, Hidden Powers, obviously, gets access to Knockoff. Magic Coat can set screens. Psychic, Psyshock. Shadow Ball, Signal Beam, Thunder Wave, it can trick mons, a lot of coverage moves overall. And one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about this going into that was that for some reason I thought when making this team that Alakazam was one of our Z captains, and it is not. And I'll talk about that in the team builder. But Alakazam is not one of our Z captains. Come to find out. So that's all that being said. Calm Mind, it gets access to Calm Mind setups. Life Orb Magic Guard set with a Calm Mind up just starts tearing holes. I mean, choose your switch. So nothing to see here. And then again, talking about special attacks, Salamence 110, Heliolisk 109, Alakazam 135, Mega Swampert and Pelipper both base 95. Even Mamoswine is a base 70 special attack. So we're able to attack from a lot of different sides here. I really do like the way this team is setting up right here. And can it learn? And Alakazam can learn Rain Dance. Everything learns Rain Dance. So next up here, All Might the Sock. We got a lot of physically offensive, and going in with that, with the physically offensiveness, 125 attack. Sock is absolutely disgusting. 85 base speed. Has two really good abilities, Sturdy and Mold Breaker. Sturdy in case we ever need to run like a Sturdy Berry, boost our speed, counter sweep. Mold Breaker in case we need to Earthquake something to levitate like a Rotom or an Electros. Like I said, 125 base attack, 85 speed. Moves, pretty straightforward. Bulk Up, Brick Break, Close Combat, Earthquake, Fire Punch, Ice Punch, Knockoff, Low Kick. Ooh, it gets, I did not know Sock got Pain Split. Interesting. Poison Jab, Power Up Punch, Rock Slide, Stone Edge, Superpower, Thunder Punch, Taunt, Toxic. Do you set the rain as well? Sock also gets Rain Dance. Look at that. So, very physically offensive. Has the potential to sweep. A lot of our mons have the potential to sweep given the correct circumstances, so I'm really looking forward to that. Needed a little bit of a wall. And Tangela looked really nice. Tangela looked very, very nice. Looking at it, stats nothing too impressive. 65 HP, 115 defense, 40 special defense, 60 speed. However, given an Eviolite, those stats get through the roof. Has the Regenerator ability as well, which is really nice. So, it's almost like running an Eviolite Slowbro if that were to work. Because I know people do run Eviolite Slowbro, believe it or not. So, gets things like Energy Ball, Giga Drain, Grass Knot, gets access to Knockoff. Pretty much almost everything that Tangrowth gets, if I'm not mistaken. Leech Seed, Morning Sun for the recovery, along with Synthesis. This thing gets Pain Split as well. Holy crap, did not know that. Sleep Powder, Stun Spore, Swords Dance, Toxic, Synthesis, standard Tangrowth and Tangela movesets. Excuse me. Psych Up. Wow, did not know that either. Tangela's got some good moves. Can you... I don't think Tangela can set the rain. I think Tangela is like one of our few mons that can't set the rain either, so... but very bulky mon, takes on a lot of hits. Eviolite Tangela can actually take a Flare Blitz from Darm, which is crazy to think about, because Darmanitan is like one of those mons that you plan for. So, yeah, that's Tangela, that's Bubs. Prometheus, very smart. All Might, I'm on a My Hero Academia binge right now, I'm actually obsessed. Bubs, I have a friend who calls cute little things Bub. Look at that, Bubs. Tangela looks like a cute little thing, so that's Bubs. Discount the Sneasel, discount obviously because it's not Weavile. Still really good mon. Abilities, I don't see myself using any sort of strategy with Inner Focus, Keen Eye, or Pickpocket. 95 attack, 115 speed. Dark Stab and Ice Stab, another priority abuser. So now we've got priority in Mamoswine, priority in Scizor, and priority in Sneasel. Stab Knockoff, Stab Ice Shards, Stab Icicle Crash, Low Kick, Poison Jab, Power Up Punch. All things like that. I mean, Shadow Claw, Swords Dance Sweeper. Very nice Pokemon. Obviously, it does have that glaring weakness to fighting. Sneasel also sets the rain. This is crazy. Another thing about Sneasel is that Sneasel is our last offensive Z-Mon. So Sneasel can set up a Swords Dance, go for like a Z Fightium Z, an Icium Z, a Darkium Z, things like that. Or another coverage move if seen fit. So nothing too crazy to say about Sneasel. It kind of rounds out, in my opinion, a really good offensive typing, a really good offensive core. We've got special offensive, we've got physically offensive mons, we've got physically defensive mons, we've got specially defensive mons. We've got a really good speeds here. Our slowest mon is actually Tangela. Got a lot of really fast offensive threats, got a lot of really good bulky threats, so I'm really looking forward to see what this team has to do. All that being said, like I said, this is a very impromptu video. I made it because a lot of people were asking me about it, so these are just my thoughts on the team. Let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions of the team in the comments section down below as well. Hopefully by the time this video goes up, there's a link in the description too for some Detroit Steel Wings merch. If not, future Pokemon 4 Glory videos will have a link to that, so hopefully you'll pick one of those up, support the team and the dream. All that being said, thank you for watching. I want to remind you guys to be great and do great. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the Week 1 Team Builder. Later!